Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a model that was launched for 2020, the Tudor Black Bay Chrono Panda. This is the 79360, a watch 41 millimeters in diameter based on the 2017 Tudor Black Bay Chrono. It gains a lovely inverse Panda dial as we have a combination of silver and black base. Handsome at 41 millimeters in diameter, 14.6 millimeters thick, 50.1 millimeters lug tip to lug tip with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw this watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and we'll zoom out a little bit so you get the benefit of scale. Now, I would recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference. It's fairly thick, though not excessively so, nor is it excessively broad across the wrist, but given that it is an even 50 millimeters, I'd say a wrist of 15 centimeters circumference or larger to get the most out of this watch aesthetically. Again, my arm is not terribly large, but I can wear it quite comfortably, and it'll fit underneath a jacket cuff. Tudor loves its simulated rivet bracelets, reminding you that eons ago, Rolex and Tudor shared the same rivet construction bracelets of the same manufacturer and branding. Well, here we have a skeuomorph. It's designed to look like a rivet bracelet. In fact, it is something else entirely, using modern assembly methods. 3 links, satin finish on the top, polish on the outer face, and you can see that the removable links here are fixed by screws. Now we have a clasp that has a thick gauge body, and it's polished on its sides, satin finished on its top, and then there are 3 divots drilled in there so you can use your strap tool to adjust the anchoring point of the bracelet and fine-tune the fit. You can also see that it is a clamshell lock with ceramic pin snaps so that the clamshell cannot, over time, wear down the snaps. The snaps will be retained, keeping this crisp. You can see the Tudor Shield logo built into a little kerf where you dig in your fingernail to open the clamshell lock, and then we ride that bracelet all the way over to the other side of the case. Historically, it wasn't just bracelets. Rolex and Tudor watches would have shared cases, and so you would have seen the same hand-finished bevel on both of them. Now, the bevels are long gone on Rolex watches today. These are machine-finished, not hand-executed, but they're there as a vintage evocative measure to remind you where Tudor has been in its journey through history. We have satin finish on the tops of the lugs as well as polish on the sheer sides. We have an aluminum insert tachymeter for the dial. You can also see that the sapphire is generously cambered to give the look of a vintage plexi. Units per hour, up to 500. We're using this tachymeter to gauge the speed of objects moving very, very quickly indeed. You can see silvered chaptering outboard with indices, applique, hour indices, an upscale look. We have sunken silvered sub-registers for constant seconds and chronograph minutes. And it is important to note that on the Tudor MT, and this is the Tudor MT5813. It's a version of the Breitling B01. You get that 45-minute minutes register as opposed to 30 minutes. And we should also mention that on the dial side, it shares a lot of design language with the standard heritage Black Bay. We have those snowflake-style hands to remind you of, again, several different versions of Tudor history. The snowflake submariners would have been made from the late 60s through mid-70s. And as you see on most of the in-house or Breitling-powered Tudor watches, you've got the Shield logo post-1968 on the dial, and then you've got the pre-1968 Rose logo on the crown itself. It is a screw-down crown, 200 meters water-resistant. The watch includes a few subsidiary setting modes, one of which is hacking seconds, in which case you stop the movement, you stop the balance, you can set it precisely against a reference time. Then we've also got a quick set for the date. I'll do a quick lume shot here. The watch is well lumed, and you can see that. We have screw-down style chronograph pushers, and although you can't see it underneath the case back, the MT5813 is a Breitling B01 movement that's been customized for Tudor use. So a few things change. Of course, you've got the 45-minute counter on the dial, but then internally you also have changed uses a special finish that's exclusive to Tudor, and then it also uses a free-sprung balance and regulator architecture that is exclusive to Tudor, plus a silicon hairspring that is proprietary to Tudor. That's not a tech that Breitling has. That makes it more resistant to thermally induced timing deviations as well as more anti-magnetic. Now, the movement, again, is a version of the B01. Aside from the technical and finish changes, a lot remains the same. Automatic winding with a 70-hour power reserve. We get the hacking seconds, the quick set date. It beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, pivots on 41 joules. It is COSC certified as a Swiss chronometer, and it uses a combination of a crisp column wheel for actuation and a vertical clutch for both smooth engagement of the seconds hand, and then if you prefer to just leave the chronograph running full time, the vertical clutch means there's no additional wear and tear to the movement. So there's a lot to love about this Tudor/Breitling hybrid, including the changes Tudor made specifically for its use of this caliber. For 2020, a new inverse Panda look to the dial. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.